Another question, one of the biggest controversies recently has been this gender equality bill. And I've been watching from the outside, and there's certain bits of the bill that I don't agree with. I'm not going to get into it too much, but a lot of it is to do with protecting women, protecting girls, equality, things that I believe in strongly. And I hear people online saying, oh, get rid of the whole bill, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but most of it is actually really important. Albania has one of the highest rates of domestic violence in Europe. I learned the other day that there is a gender pay gap in hospitality. So women doing the same job for the same number of hours as a man, there is a 42% pay gap between them. I mean, this is crazy. There are problems which need addressing when it comes to equality in Albania. And I kind of feel like the whole bill has been hijacked because of these couple of phrases to do with gender identity. What's your perspective on this? Do you think there's elements of the bill which are needed, which are important, and which bits are not?
I have tried to be very careful what I say about this law because it has created a lot of debate. Mm-hmm. And I want to see it in two different phases. First of all, I am a conservative. Mm-hmm. I believe in a normal family.
Yes.
I have been raised in a traditional family, and I want the same for my kids. What they choose is, I cannot command that.
Yes.
But this does not give me the right to say that other people cannot choose. Mm-hmm. And it is within their rights. And now I chair the Committee on Human Rights, and mm-hmm. I sit with all groups. And this is something very important for me. But also studying in UK, I was exposed a little bit earlier with some of the issues that we are discussing now. How should have this been treated? First of all, the government likes very much to throw at the public, for public consumption, the worst model. And then it looks like they take a step back and they change something, which they didn't change in this case, but it looks like they changed something. First of all, we have an anti-discrimination law, which was very good. And that law could have been enriched and put all the anti-discrimination issues mm-hmm. there and not mix it up with the gender issues.
Yes, they're completely separate in my view.
Because they were mixed up, you couldn't even say, because I was supporting Article 6 of the law, which was speaking about anti-discrimination, mm-hmm. but then I was not supporting the law in general. But if this change was made in the anti-discrimination law, there wouldn't be any problem. Because of course mm-hmm. we shouldn't discriminate anyone because of what they feel, what they see. It was mixed with the gender issue, and it created this debate.
Yes.
What is important in this law, and besides the gender issue, which I don't agree, and mm-hmm. I am not 100% mm-hmm. fully aligned with that, there are a lot of other issues. Labor rights. Mm-hmm. Labor rights is a very important thing, which in this law was mentioned for the first time.
Yes.
The pay gap that you mentioned,
yes.
The unpaid work for
yes.
women, issues that are linked with social workers for mm-hmm. Domestic violence. But this law is orphan. Why? Because
you put two unrelated issues together. One, which is, I don't think, let's talk about the UK. I think the UK has caused itself a lot of problems with the way it's approached. You can't even say breastfeeding in the NHS. They don't refer to you as mothers in the doctors. This has got, I'm all for equality, whatever people want to do, as long as it's legal and everyone's consensual, get on with it. And I do think there should be some legal mechanisms in place for people who are outside what a lot of people consider the normal sort of family. For example, we have a lot of foreigners coming to Albania now to live, whatever. Maybe you're going to have a same-sex couple that come here and they want to buy a house together, for example. It might be difficult for them in Albanian law for their marriage to be recognized. I think there should be some mechanisms or something, but I don't agree with, I have to be careful because I don't want to get cancelled, but there are certain things I have concerns about because I've seen where it can go wrong in the UK, but yeah, like you said, these issues, it was just mixed together, and the result is that a law which 80% of is very important has now been tarred with...
And what happens with the law is that it comes with a huge financial bill, mm-hmm. which was not ready and is not ready. Because first of all, for this law to be implemented, you require a whole network on the ground. You require people, you require investments. And then unpaid work for women is there. And this is something, a personal battle that I will continue.
Yes.
But this cannot be implemented because you need to change the labor code. You need to change the law of social insurances. So just because it is in that law mentioned, it does not mean that it will be implemented.
Yes.
This is why I even ask, let's see the whole legal framework, how we should, for me personally, it's very important to work on legislation for women who raise kids with autism or Down syndrome and stay at home. It is a personal engagement I've taken during the campaign, because these women work. They cannot work otherwise, but they work in the house. We should recognize this as unpaid work. Does this law mean that it will happen? This law recognizes the concept, but it cannot be implemented. And in this process, for the European integration, because this was one of the requirements in the process, for European integration, we just don't need laws. We need their implementation. We need norms and standards to change on the ground. And this is something that it's happening for a lot of legislation. We have approved the best legislation on general data protection regulation, but it's not being implemented because structures are not there in place. So we need to make this process, the European integration process, tangible for people, so they see the real change on the ground.